A Dream in May by Annie Adams Fields, 1834 to 1915. A vision of a quiet place where lay late apple blossoms scattered on the grass, a carpet greener far than all the day our eyes had seen, alas. A vision in the night of what shall be, a rounded hillock and a day of peace, a tender memory of a soul set free, earth greener where we cease. Such was the place whereon there lay pale apple blossoms scattered on the grass, a carpet greener far than all the day mine eyes had seen, alas. Okay, this is a poem by Annie Adams Fields. She was an American poet and writer. She was born and brought up in Boston. She went to one of Boston's best private schools. In those days it was unusual that women were educated. When she was 20, she got married, and her husband was the editor of Atlantic Weekly, which was a major, or the major Boston magazine about the arts, which published many poetry of many different people. She used her home as a salon for famous artists and writers and various intellectuals. She was also known for her philanthropic acts. She set up places for poor people to eat at low cost. She set up a refuge for working women who only had who were unmarried and had children. So what's this about? No, I've missed the rest of Annie's life. When Annie's about 40, I think she's 48, her husband dies, and then she goes to live with her closest friend, Sarah Orne Jewett, who was also a novelist and a story writer, and they lived together for the rest of their lives. They lived together in what was called a Boston marriage. They got married, they exchanged rings, they exchanged vows, and it seems they were very happy together. Anyway, A Dream in May by Annie Adams Fields. What's this about? Well, I think this poem is about death. This is about the inevitability of death, and death is the way to peace. I think this is someone who is thinking about death and thinking about how difficult the world is, and understands that when they die they will be at peace. Now look, a vision of a quiet place where lay late apple blossoms scattered on the grass. So this is a vision of a place. She's got a vision of a place where the flowers of apples, or apple trees, are scattered all over the grass. And if you think about it, these petals from the apple tree, these are dead. These are something that has died, and they are scattered all over the grass. A carpet greener far than all the day our eyes had seen, alas. And this is a carpet, or a place that is greener, that is more beautiful than all the day, than all the life that we had seen. But alas, alas says how sad this is. So I think the implication here is that once you are dead, then you are going to live in heaven. You're going to live a much greener, a much better life. A vision in the night of what shall be, a rounded hillock and a day of peace, a tender memory of a soul set free, earth greener where we cease. Now, I think this is a vision in the night of the world that we live in the darkness that we live in, and in this troubled and difficult world of darkness, she has a vision and she sees a rounded hillock. This, I think, is the grave itself, because when a body is newly buried, there is this little hillock, which will drop down as time goes by, and a day of peace, and this is the day of peace. So this is the resting place. This is a vision of the grave. A tender memory of a soul set free. This is where people remember the dead. They remember somebody whose soul has been set free. Earth greener where we cease, and the grass is greener. Everything is greener, I presume, because the dead body is feeding the ground, and earth is much greener where after we have died. And I think this is the idea of going to heaven and finally being in peace and living a much better life. And then this last stanza is an echo of the very first one. Such was the quiet place whereon there lay pale apple blossoms scattered on the grass. So this grave is in a quiet place, and there are the apple blossoms, which is a very beautiful image because they're these pinky white petals everywhere, but these are dead as well. A carpet greener far than all the day mine eyes had seen, alas. And this death is a much better place than all the days that this person had lived. Life is difficult, but after that there is peace, and this is the view of peace. So at least this is my interpretation of this poem. I think this poem is difficult to interpret because it could be just interpreted as a beautiful May Day with the flowers of the apple tree scattered everywhere, but I think it goes much further than that. So, A Dream in May by Annie Adams Fields.